and is rated R. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is also rated R. We're going to spend this time discussing the movie in gory detail, and along the road we will talk about some adult content and use some of our favorite swear words.
Baleated, delteated, del taco.
Consider yourselves warned. Welcome to Rocky Horror Minute, the podcast where we break down the Rocky Horror Picture Show in excruciating detail, 1 minute at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Leandra.
And I'm your other host, Kelly.
And we don't have any guests today, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, Flapjack had a problem.
What was the problem?
There's a problem. If you get that reference, write in. No need even for the 5-star review Apple Podcast. I want to talk to you. Anyway. Hi.
Hi. So, no problem then? Sorry, no problem then?
There was a problem. Hi.
Okay. Hi.
Yep.
All right. So.
Yes.
Kelly, we're on minute 90. What happens in minute 90?
A lot, actually, for once, happens in minute 90.
Oh, do tell.
So, it starts with, we're getting a really interesting shot that's, like, behind Magenta and Riff, directly behind their shoulders, kind of if you were standing behind them, poking your face in between the two of them. That's what you would see, but apart from that, it's kind of a POV shot. It follows as they start to walk down the stairs. And Riff says, "And also presumptuous of you," and starts raising the tractor beam gun that's in his hand. With each step they take, Frank takes a step backwards, and he's kind of looking from one to the other. Riff continues, "You see, when I said we were to return to Transylvania, I referred only to Magenta and myself. I'm sorry, however, if you found my words misleading. But you see," and then he kind of bumps Frank with the gun as he says this, or I think that's what happens because Frank reacts as though it bumped him, basically. And Riff says, "You are to remain here, in spirit anyway." Frank kind of throws himself backwards down onto the stairs and sits there. And then we see our friends in the corner again, and Dr. Scott says to Brad, turns to Brad specifically and says to him, "Good heavens, that's a laser." And then Brad and Janet look at each other as though they're shocked. Rocky, during all of this, is just continuing to stare straight ahead with a gigantic grimace on his face. Then Riff says, "Yes, Dr. Scott, a laser capable of emitting a beam of pure antimatter." Brad replies, "You mean you're going to kill him? What's his crime?" And Scott says, "You saw what became of Eddie." He kind of tenses his fingers, then interlaces them and says, "Society must be protected." Riff replies, "Exactly, Dr. Scott. And now, Frankenfurter, your time has come. Say goodbye to all of this." And he kind of gestures dismissively with the gun. Then adds, "And hello to oblivion." And Frank starts to stand up when he says this, and that is the end of the minute.
That's an amazing minute.
I'm really
so happy that nobody dies.
Yeah, probably nobody dies in this minute. We can't say for sure what's happening elsewhere in the castle, but
yeah.
It really is a great minute, though. I found there was a lot to love.
Oh, agreed. One of the big things that I think is great about this is Riff Raff, who hasn't really said much before this point in the movie, just gives the audience just a massive plot dump. Like, all of this information, and it's in the final literal 10 minutes of the movie, and it's just like, just so you know, all of this stuff's about to happen. Thumbs up.
Yeah, pretty awesome. I really actually am going to gush about a lot of things in this minute, and I'm going to start with the cinematography. That shot that is sort of like a faux POV shot behind it's like a third-person shooter shot of Riff and Magenta. It is so cool, and it's really interesting to do it that way. So I love all of the cinematography choices, and especially the character choices in this minute. Everybody made really, really good ones. I like how Richard O'Brien decided that, and it's much more pronounced, at least during Takeover, this lip twitching that Riff Raff does. I don't know if that's like because it's his big moment or if he's trying not to like laugh maniacally or scream like he might do later. I don't know. What do you think?
I know that he does a very similar thing to this in Sweet Transvestite when they're all around the throne in that pose that we affectionately call the Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's a very cool bit of characterization that he does play through. And yeah, I think that it's almost a trying to control the words that are about to come out of his mouth sort of thing. Sometimes it's to control laughter, but other times, like, it's just a I gotta keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. It's a really cool, deliberate thing that he decided to do to become Riff Raff, and I love that. So there's that, but then also like really everybody. Dr. Scott is being like such a pompous bastard in this in this minute. We that face that Rocky's making is so burned in my brain because it is such a strange face and it's fun in like a silly way to me. That huge like full teeth chimpanzee grimace he's doing.
It really is great. In a later minute, my note is Peter Hinwood giving, but Doctor, I am Pagliacci.
Yeah, exactly. And then like Brad and Janet are so over the top with their surprise and their like kind of innocent like 50s monster movie heroes type of act. So just generally really strong character choices from pretty much everybody. Oh, and Frank. Frank like very clearly that fall is fake. Like he even kind of looks behind him before he like dramatically throws himself down like a diva. It's just really all around a great moment for everybody's like deliberate choices.
And I really like Patricia Quinn in this moment too, because that half smirk that's just like barely showing on her face,
Yeah.
it's really what makes the characterization so iconic. There are so few people that can do that much to tell the story without that many lines. So you're right, this really is just a great minute for so many people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I learned from the commentary Richard O'Brien apparently still has the tractor beam pitchfork gun.
Oh, wow.
Or at least he had it at the time of the commentary. I don't know if he's gotten rid of it since then, but pretty awesome. I thought he really had a deep love for it, as I think we all do. It's an amazing prop. Even Patricia Quinn doled out the rare praise, saying she said it was an amazing tie up from Mr. Thompson. That would be Brian Thompson, of course, who we've gushed about many times on this podcast.
And he's alive.
He is alive. Or is he? No, he is.
No, he is. It
Stop
is.
saying he's not alive.
I only said that a
I'm
couple of
just kidding.
times.
I'm just kidding. Audience, stop trying to convince people that Brian Thompson's not alive. He is. Anyway, so yeah, just great. I really, really do sincerely love almost everything in this minute.
One thing that I really like about Dr. Scott being so cunty in this,
Mm-hmm.
the society must be protected sort of thing. I just want everybody to remember for the future that Dr. Scott is so clearly great with Frank getting fucking murked right now.
Oh yeah,
And yeah, as far as we know, he's just gonna be totally okay with this no matter what happens. And he's not going to have any doubts about that or look like he is sad when it actually happens. That wouldn't be consistent at all.
yeah. Very interesting point. Who knows
It's a
what might
symptom of
happen in
Jagoff
future
disease.
minutes? Yeah, Jagoff disease causes wild mood swings. Another Jagoff disease fact from Rocky Horror Minute. I noticed that so Riff, especially when he's doing the whole like his whole, oh yeah, you're to remain here in spirit anyway, like that's when he's like clearly trying not to smile. And I wrote, these Transylvanians love a dad joke. This is the same way, I mean, he and Magentica barely contain themselves during all of Frank's, like, that's a very tender subject. Another slice, anyone, like all those things. They love it.
It really is just delightful to see somebody really loving their job.
It's true. If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I don't know if that applies to anyone in this movie prior to Takeover, but Riff and Magenta are living their best lives at this point.
I agree with that. I was going to say that Magenta, I think, is living her best life because even when she's like dusting or mopping, she's not pretending that she's gonna be good at it. She's just kind of doing what she wants.
Yeah,
So,
but I don't think she loves her job.
oh, okay. I guess it depends on what her job actually is because it sure isn't actually being a domestic.
That's true. She did really, really love hitting the gong.
It's a good thing to do.
I mean, Magenta just loves fucking with people. That's like her primary character trait in my mind.
She's the most lovable of scamps.
The most lovable?
I mean,
You might need to process that.
I mean, who else in this movie is a more lovable scamp? I'll wait.
Frank.
Okay.
He's
Other
the
than
scampiest of all of them, I would say.
he is a bit shrimp scampy.
Nah, you know what? I'm leaving it. Uh,
Leave it.
Let
Leave it.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Like your Bambi.
Yes. Leandra,
Yes.
what do you are you aware of what a laser is and what it does?
Is it a device which is capable of breaking down a beam of pure antimatter and projecting it through space and who knows, perhaps even through time itself?
Yeah, no, you are conflating it with the sonic transducer, which is an
Oh shit, you're
audio
right.
phys,
Audio
audio
vibratory
vibratory
visio
physiomolecular transport
transport
device.
device. Yeah.
Obviously not a laser. Don't be an idiot.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay,
But
so a laser. Okay. Yeah, so a laser, is that a carnivorous plant?
it is not. You know
Okay.
what else it is not?
What?
Capable of emitting a beam of pure antimatter.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, so I'm not sure because like most of this, so an audio vibratory physiomolecular transport device, as far as I'm aware, does not exist. So in sci-fi, I'm happy to be like, oh yeah, that's not a thing. You made something up. It's silly, whatever. Lasers are real, and they're a specific thing, and they don't shoot antimatter. They shoot light.
Okay, you fucking
Um,
lib.
And yeah, well, I'm sorry, Leandra. Facts don't care about your feelings. It the name laser is an acronym, if you didn't know, for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. So a laser, by definition, cannot shoot anything but light, or perhaps it's better to say amplify light. But it cannot emit a beam of pure antimatter. That just wouldn't be called a laser at all. It would be called like an antimatter beam, which would have been a totally fine thing to say. So just here's the thing. I don't think Richard O'Brien cared or thought about this, but it is possible that, well, no, because Riff kind of ruins it. It's possible that Scott is just a fraud, which is something I've already been championing as an idea throughout.
Yeah,
Because
he has
Scott's like,
jagoff
oh, good
disease.
heavens, it's a laser, but it's like not a laser. So there you go.
What if Riff isn't paying attention to what Dr. Scott said and he just heard like, "Oh my god, it's a gun."
Well, and also we can't discount the idea that laser, like transsexual, means something completely different in their language.
God, that is so true. It could mean Triffid.
It could, yeah.
So, I love Janet kind of looking at Brad on what, you're going to kill him? What's his crime? And the look on her face is essentially like, Brad, why are you arguing with the man with the gun?
Yeah.
It really is just a delightful, like, please don't do this, which it's very, very much in, like, on theme for who Janet is,
Yeah.
and also on theme with who Brad is. Just like
Mm-hmm.
the most earnest person on stage.
It's so true. Such good characterization.
So I'm going to talk a little bit
Oh, all right, if you
about.
must.
I must. It's half my podcast too, I guess.
Yeah.
I really love the beautiful stone steps that Frank is sitting on. There's
Mm.
just so much attention to detail on the set, and it's just one of those things that I'm just like, oh, that's just beautiful.
Yeah, I completely agree. Everything about this is a really the I think this set does not get enough love. I don't think people really notice it because it's such an action-packed section of the movie. I don't think a lot of people notice how much care was put into this inexplicable beach theme they did.
It really is just Brian Thompson gave us, you and I, Kelly and
Mm-hmm.
Leandra, the people watching the movie minute by minute, just this wonderful gift of something new to look at every single minute. And I don't know why he did it, but I'm very happy he did.
It's because he's a benevolent god.
Oh, okay. But
Yes.
he is alive.
He
God is dead, but Brian Thompson
No,
is
God's
alive.
not dead. Oh my god. Well, that's the next movie we have to do minute by minute.
God's not dead minute.
Yeah, the last 20 minutes are just us recapping a Newsboys concert.
Oh my God, that sounds like torture.
Yeah. When I was in well, it was a summer between my freshman and sophomore years of college. I went to Yosemite National Park. I worked there for the summer. And I lived in a tent cabin that many of the staff there live in. But I had a roommate who was a very sweet girl who was local, kind of a townie, who was very, very Christian and obsessed with the Newsboys. And she had one Newsboys CD, and she played it every moment we were in our tent. So all night while I was sleeping, that CD was on repeat. Yeah.
I think that there is a chance that we had a very similar situation happen because when I went to Jesus camp in middle school, I stayed in a recreation of a Conestoga wagon, and one of the people that I shared the wagon with also loved, I think that it was Newsboys, and played a shit ton of it just on her little CD player. And yeah, she had the headphones, but it was so loud that I could hear every beat of it, and it was just part of my indoctrination. I
Yeah, but at least that was a middle schooler. But yeah, I
Yes,
mean,
that is true.
the real issue is that it was the same CD and it was on repeat for hours and hours on end every day all summer.
And you loved it.
I hate the Newsboys so goddamn much. You really could not imagine.
Which do you hate more, the Newsboys or Steam Powered Giraffe?
The Newsboys.
Did you know that Steam Powered Giraffe did a cover of Pink Pony Club?
Ugh, I can't believe they're still around.
Right? I stumbled upon this and I was like, this is the worst thing that my eyes have seen in months. And I immediately sent it to several people who were very unhappy with me.
Yeah, I will say, objectively, the Newsboys make better music than Steam Powered Giraffe, but I have Newsboys trauma, so I hate them more.
That's very valid of you.
Yeah, I thought so.
So, speaking of trauma,
Mm-hmm.
Frank standing up at the end of this minute, like he's going to face his death like a man. I really love that that's the choice that he's going to make. And as far as we know, that lasts forever
Yeah.
if you stop watching the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I put it in my notes for next minute, but I'll talk about it now since we're on the topic. There's something so beautiful about the way he stands up. It's a very poignant moment. The expression on his face and the way he's standing, looking straight ahead, like he really does seem to, in that moment, he's at least trying to look very brave and resolute. And we'll see if he keeps that up.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
Probably, yeah. I mean,
That
it's
sounds
Frank
like
we're
him.
talking about here.
So, this is one of my favorite scenes to be goofy with when I am Frank. And I will say, as you know, and as I think most people know, I'm a very goofy Frank as it is.
You're a very goofy person in
It
general.
it's honestly very true.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my favorite things to do when I play Frankenfurter is after I am thrown down the stairs or onto the stairs, I guess, I sit in the seats in the front row of our theater and then I try and kick the laser gun
Mm-hmm.
out of my face. And I'm just constantly trying to swipe it away from me and just irritating Riff as much as possible in his one of his only important face scenes. So it really does have to be about me at all times.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Riffs like it, I like it, the audience can't see it. So everybody's happy. Maybe.
Sure. I don't think I have any other notes.
Well, question for you.
Okay.
This is a very dangerous part for people to play Frankenfurter with because they're walking backwards in heels. And at least in our theater, it's down a set of steps that are not really consistently spaced. Have you ever fallen during this scene?
Not during this scene.
I have seen that happen, and it is one of the most like like not cringe and a oh my god, it's so fucking cringe. It's the wince of
Yeah.
this is a person who just became concussed.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm very careful during this. The scenes where I have eaten shit are always invariably ones where I'm trying to move quickly down the stairs. When I'm Rocky running down towards the tank, when I'm Janet running from for any reason, like those are the times that I fall. As Frank when I'm chasing Rocky during Sword of Damocles, which at least makes it a little more screen accurate, I guess. But yeah, the ones where I have the luxury of moving somewhat slowly are not my big danger moments.
Well, thankfully, I've never fallen at this point either, but what I do now is I'm very careful and sometimes I'll just like kind of crab walk sideways so that I'm never actually walking backwards because I'd rather sacrifice a little bit of screen accuracy for the comfort of knowing that I won't die.
Yeah, for me, it might be a little less screen accurate, but I just go ahead and hold the rail and go very slowly.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. So I do this too when I'm like Brad or Janet backing down towards Frank for sweet tea because that also goes down the stairs in our theater. I'm holding the rail and I'm feeling very carefully with my feet before I step each time. It doesn't look as good as if I just went down, but it looks better than if I fell and cracked my head open, which is what I would do if I was not careful. So
Very true. And that's really only a funny thing that you can do once.
it's so true. I mean, it's the ultimate. I'll do that for when I retire.
No, because then I'll have to clean it up.
Oh, it's so funny that you think you'll still be working when I retire from Rocky.
Womp
I say
womp.
this as though we get paid for it.
Yeah, and honestly, I will be a floating brain in a jar playing Dr. Scott, and I don't foresee myself quitting Rocky anytime soon.
No, but I mean, you're like twice my age, so it stands to reason that at some point before me you would quit.
Twice, three times.
Yeah.
I'm as ancient as they come. They
Yeah.
call me Lady Methuselah.
It's so
It's
true.
true. Not even 40, you massive cunt.
But I'm 19, so
Sure. Sure thing. What callbacks do you have, 19-year-old?
So when Riff says, when I said we were to return to Transylvania, the callback is, I was speaking French. You can sort of set him up before he says you see. Like, this has happened other times in the movie too. But you'd say F, he says you see, and then you say K spells fuck. Classic. My actual favorite from the entire minute, which is one with very good callbacks in general, but for whatever reason, I really like so Riff says, you are to remain here. The response is, oh, that's not so bad. And then he says, in spirit anyway. Oh, fuck. It's not like a really elevated joke or anything. I don't know why. I just
It's
really
comfy.
it's comfy and it's just funny to me. I don't know. When he says a laser capable of emitting a beam of pure antimatter, does that mean it doesn't matter?
And the counter to that is no, it means it's not a fucking laser.
See? Someone else knows. Another very good one when he says, what's his crime? You've got a couple options, or you can say both. Mail fraud, homicide. And then after society must be protected, fuck society. And then the response to that one is, I fucked society and I got a social disease. Old-timey term for STDs. And then after he says, your time has come, even time comes in this movie. Another one of those, always good. And then after say goodbye to all of this, goodbye all of this. And hello to Oblivion. Hi Oblivion, how's the wife and kids? Your wife, my kids, short story, I fucked your wife.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a good one. That one always gets a laugh. People like it. It's a silly one, and it takes a little bit to get out, but it's a quiet time in the movie, so try it. Why don't you?
Yeah, I know I will.
Okay.
Fucking your wife, I mean.
Okay, well, I suppose masturbation is perfectly legal.
God, that's true. I am your wife.
You are.
You wifed me up.
I did. I put a ring on it. A cock ring? Leandra, do you have any callbacks?
I do.
Okay.
So when Riff Raff starts going forward, you can kind of just over top of all of his words, you can say, I will turn to him and I will say, hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father, prepare to die. Hello, my name is Luke. You are my father, prepare to die. Hello, my name is Oedipus Rex. I fucked my mother and killed my father and I want to die. Hello, my name is Sue. How do you do? You're gonna die. So those are all nice.
Yeah.
It's a bit wordy.
It
but
is.
I think it's worth it. Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
Jesus Christ.
And when Dr. Scott says society must be protected, you can harken back to another callback from right about at the beginning of Dr. Scott's existence in this plot and say, get snotty, Scotty.
Oh, yeah.
And then when Riff says, and hello, you can go, hello, governor. Just stupid bullshit.
Yep.
But that's all I got.
Okay. Well then.
Now,
you don't
have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Start spreading.
So, get the fuck out.
To the late night.
That was good.
Double feature picture show.
A lot, actually, for once, happens in minute 90.
Oh, do
We
tell.
even have our second death of the movie. Is that right?
No, that happens in 91.
No?
Yes?
Columbia?
Correct. That starts the beginning of 91.
No, it does not.
Well,
Oh, wait, yes, it does.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shall I keep this in?
Well, luckily for me, I'm editing this one, so
Damn
I
it!
know. Anyway, hi.
Hi.